Hello, chess family. It's me, National Master Jesse James, and today we're going over a very fun game I got to play against the Scandinavian. In this one, I got 3 brilliance or 3 double exclams. Actually, in this position right here, it's forced checkmate in 4 if you want to try and problem solve it right now. But for those who want to see the whole game, let's get to it. Here we go. Let's go and start with move 1. I'm playing the white side. I'm playing against a FIDE master at 2,500, and well, I start up with d4. And unfortunately, for my opponent, they went ahead and played d5, the Scandi. Boo. That is a very good opening, but I definitely feel like white has a very good game against it. Plus, as a opening principal man myself, I don't think you should be bringing your queen out on the second move. So what do you play here? We play pawn takes, queen takes, and this brings our queen up. So now we can start developing and attacking the queen. Knight c3, of course, free developing move attacking the queen. And here black brings the queen back to d8. Here I'm even more skeptical of this opening, just because, well, they brought their queen up, now they bring their queen back in. Okay, so what's the point of this whole opening? One of the main ideas for this for black is that this is very solid, and black does not get any weaknesses. Now white will get a space advantage, meaning we control more squares, but that would not always mean a free win for you, because there's still plenty of ways to make mistakes. This was not one of them for me. Here I played pawn d4, let's control the center. Pawn to c6, again a very solid move. This will actually transpose or turn into Caro openings, which if you don't know is a very, very, very solid or very good opening for black. That one has my utmost respect. Here we go, knight to f3 gets played. My opponent played knight to f6. And next piece we want to move is our bishop so we can get ready to castle. So here we played bishop c4. And unfortunately for my opponent, they went ahead and gave me my first brilliant move, or my double exclam, and they made the blunderous move of bishop g4. Can you find the best move here? It is white to move. What do you play here to win a pawn and stop the king from castling? Here, you're going to go ahead and play bishop takes on f7, our first brilliant of the game. And, well, you might be asking, why does this work? Well, simple chess, it's going to be giving us a fork. Here, well, this is pretty much forced. I mean, if you don't take here, if you play king to d7, you're going to get to the same fork, so you might as well take. And after king takes on f7, you get to play knight to e5 check, forking the king and the bishop. So here we're going to win our piece back, but we have won a pawn, and black has lost the right to castle. King went back to e8, and, well, let's just snack attack. Knight takes, queen takes. Here I have a very good position with a +3 advantage already. Black went ahead and played queen d7, saying, do you want to make a trade? Of course I do not want to. With the king not able to castle, the king is going to be very unsafe for the rest of the game. So let's keep the queens on the board. Here I went ahead and just played queen to h4. My opponent played knight to a6. I mean, it's already becoming a difficult situation, right? The knight does have a decent square here, because maybe it goes to knight b4 to try and hold d5 down, or maybe go to c2 here, threatening the fork right here. Well, in this kind of position, you must ask yourself, which way do you want to castle? In this game, do you want to go kingside castling or queenside? For me, it's not a very hard decision here. I want to go queenside castling. When you're attacking your opponent, you need open files and diagonals, meaning you need to make pawn trades so that your rooks and bishops can get very good squares. So I want to prepare d5. That's why I want to castle queenside. So what's the next piece I want to move? My bishop. I went ahead and developed my bishop to g5 here. I was hoping that they would make a mistake and play something like pawn to h6. Here my opponent played knight to b4. Here they're threatening knight takes c2 check. So simple chess, let's just go ahead and castle. I mean, here I'm very happy still. Like I said, I'm castled. My rook is getting ready to prepare pawn to d5, and my other rook is ready to come into the center. I already have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces ready to attack, and my king is safe. I don't know what more I can ask for. And here my opponent made that bad move I was hoping that they'd make, pawn to h6, a very bad move here. Why is this bad? Well, this move does not have a threat. Literally, they can't even take on g5 here because of the pin. But it's a natural move that many people will make, at least very fast. So here, well, we can just keep developing, we can keep making threats. Here, well, I went ahead and played queen h5 check here, tickling this king over here. One of the ideas is also to help get another piece to control the d5 square. My opponent played king to d8 with the idea, I believe, of going king c7 and then bringing the rook out either to e8 or d8. And they call this castling by hand. And, well, if he's able to do this, he'll have a decent position. I mean, it won't be great, but it's definitely going to be better than it was before. And so here I went ahead and played rook over to e1. Now this keeps pressure on the e7 pawn and also is developing my last piece. My opponent played pawn to b6, and now things are definitely understandable. Here, the king is planning to go to c7 and then go to b6. Well, now that I have all my pieces ready and developed, I want to get the attack going. And I want to prepare this pawn to d5 move as soon as possible. So I went ahead and moved my bishop and played bishop f4. How does bishop f4 help you prepare d5? Well, here I want to play d5, but black had 1, 2, 3 defenders, and I simply had only 1, 2 if I'd pushed the pawn. So when I played the bishop f4, I put my bishop to a better diagonal, but also it opened up the queen to help control the d5 square. Now I have d5. If I can open up this file, you can see that my attack can start going forward. My opponent played king to c8. And what do you play here? Simple chess. We're going to go ahead and play pawn over to d5. All right, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe. Remember, liking this video is going to share it with more chess players. As you can see here, d5 is going to open up this game. And, well, even if they play something like c5 here, which might be the best move, you can still keep moving forward with something like pawn to d6. And, dear Lord, whether they want to or not, a trade is going to happen or they're going to be losing pawns. In the game, my opponent played what the computer said was the best move. After d5, they went ahead and played king over to b7. And now we get our open file. Pawn goes over to a3, kicking the knight. If the knight moves away, then we could take on c6. In fact, I really wanted them to take on d5 here so I could take back with my rook. So, knight takes on d5, knight takes, pawn takes, rook takes. Of course, we don't want to trade queens at this point. You could trade queens and go into a winning endgame, but I saw that if I kept queens on the board, I have very good attacking chances. The queen went to c6, and here, well, let's go ahead and get our rook to help out. We want to play rook to d7, but, well, the queen would just take. So, rook over to d1. Now we have 2 rooks on the open file here, ready to attack on d7. Rook c8, a good move. The rook is finally able to join the game, and they're putting pressure on c2, threatening checkmate. Of course, I don't want to be checkmated, but here, let's play Inter-Samoa, or an in-between move. Rook over to d7, attacking the king. You can see that this king is very weak, and a7 looks particularly weak. King a8 gets played, and let's not get checkmated on c2. I went ahead and brought the queen back to e2. Now, this queen move not only was defending on c2, but was also getting ready to do checkmate ideas with ideas like queen to a6, which we'll see in a little bit is part of a winning combination. Well, black's not just going to lay around. He needs to get his bishop out and his rook into the game. So e6 got played, letting the bishop out. And here, well, I was thinking about how I want to bring the queen over to a6, but of course I'll just get checkmated on c2. So what do you play here? Well, I asked myself, what's better than 1 rook on the 7th? That was 2. Here I went ahead and played rook over to f7, getting ready to double my rooks. And here my opponent played pawn g5, attacking my bishop. Sometimes you can't just allow your opponent to push you around. Look for those forced moves. Here I went ahead and played my second brilliant move of the game. Do you see it? It's white to move. What do you play here? Rook over to d7, now threatening checkmate on a7. Well, it's only checkmate with the bishop here. My opponent went ahead and took. And here I was able to find a forced checkmate. Rook takes on a7 check. King over to b8, and now this is my favorite move of the game. It's white to move. What do you play here? All right, hopefully you push pause and try to figure it out. Here we have a very nice move of rook over to a8 check. And again, we get that brilliant move. And some of you guys have been wondering, what is going on here? It's a forced checkmate in 4 after this move. One of the ideas that you might have seen is that you'd like to go queen e5 check. Unfortunately, this doesn't work because the bishop just comes in the block. And with the queen defending it, well, it's not going to allow the checkmate. So what's the idea of rook to a8? Well, I'd like to play queen a6, threatening checkmate. But if I did that move, well, then they play queen takes on c2. So we put both of those ideas together, and that's how you come up with rook over to a8. Notice if the king takes, well, now I get to use my queen a6 check move. Queen a6 check, king over to b8, and then queen a7 is checkmate. Wait a second, what if they go ahead and play queen takes? Well, queen takes is actually what happened in the game, and then they got checkmated with. Now the queen is no longer to help defend on d6, so you simply go queen e5 check, and here you can either block with your rook or your bishop. It really doesn't matter at this point. Here they went ahead and just played rook over to c7, and I was able to finish the game up with queen takes on c7 for check and mate. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this. This was a fun attacking game for the Scandinavian. particularly from the white side. Remember, don't forget about the f7 trap over here. Bishop takes on f7 check over here whenever they do play bishop g4. And when you are trying to problem solve in your games and looking for those checkmate patterns, make sure you put your ideas together, okay? And this one I was able to put two ideas together and get a nice checkmate. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you in the next video.